Today isn't as beautiful scenery as it usually is. I have a watch on, I have my special glasses, my hair's not done, but what better time than now to speak to you guys once again. Today I really got hit with why do I make content, why am I doing majority of the things I do, and I think this happens a lot in the month. It's just a point of clarity where I sit back, and it happens more often than not. It's just where I need to sit and have clarity on what I'm doing and why I'm creating what I'm creating and why I even film videos like this. And at the end of the day, it all routes back to one answer in my head when I question myself about everything I do is, for the personal brand aspect, it's to document. The blessing of being able to sit there with a childhood best friend of mine and watch back the past 2 years of my life and see how much I've grown in real time and all the things I said I wanted to do and I've done, and continuing to sit here and state the things I'm going to accomplish and the things that I'm going to achieve, and having done those things time after time and being able to show in real time, that's what I've done. You've watched me go from shoveling snow in my backyard for clients as well to that shitty old home I used to live in, to now this fucking master bedroom that is too big. I don't even know what to do with it. I got 2 walk-in closets. My bathroom is as big as some people's 1-bedroom apartment. I've got this big open style bathtub, and it's not here to, bloat or show anything, because at the end of the day, the main reason why I do this is, yes, to document my life and look back, but it's to inspire and to motivate, because you sitting on the other side of the camera, I've been there. I've been in that part of life where I don't know what to do and I'm just fucking doing. And I'm here to state to you, you just have to do. Whatever it is, you have to do. I always get asked, like, how do I start? How do I start? You just start. Just fucking do anything and everything you can possibly think of, just do it. And that will inevitably get you on the path that you want to go on. If you follow that with enough of a reason and with enough of self-delusion and pursuing what you're doing and knowing you'll make it come true no matter how hard it becomes, no matter how confused you get, no matter the lack of clarity that you have, if you stick strong to that reason and you continue to push through with it, it will happen. One of the most common things that happens in entrepreneurship is as soon as you achieve a goal, you have another. And I hear people complain about this all the time. I can just never be satisfied. And it's like, why are you complaining? Why the fuck are you complaining that as soon as you accomplish one thing, you're ready to accomplish another? That is a blessing. There are so many people out there in the world that sit there, they achieve one thing and they sit there and they're compliant with that thing. That's just it for them. But many of the hungry, like you sitting on the other side of this camera, sit there and you achieve something and you want more. And I'm here to tell you that is a fucking blessing, and that will help you win in this game. Because to be the one that does not crave for more, that does not want to achieve more, yes, they've won in their eyes, but in the large scheme of things, it is a blessing to want more. You have to learn to balance that want with what you truly need, live within your means, and live true to your purpose at all times, yes, but it is a blessing to constantly strive for more and constantly shoot for the stars, because that creates the most growth. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. So pursue what you are pursuing to your absolute fucking fullest, and don't be afraid of the next goal that's going to come, the next achievement, the next thing you got to check off the fucking kill list. Because those add-ons are a benefit, and they're truly a blessing. And that's why I'm grateful. Every time I've ever achieved something, it's like it blew past my shoulder, and I'm like, I need this thing. I need to achieve this thing. I want a success in this. And it's allowed me to have this constant state of hunger in my life to achieve, to create, and to build the life I dreamed of as a kid. To wake up even in a house like this. I live in a multi-million-dollar house. Yes, it's rented, but to live in a house like this, to be able to acquire a house like this and actually rent it at my age is truly a blessing. And the younger version of me, to have ever thought, I'd be sitting in this chair that I am speaking to my followers and waking up in a house like this, it's worth it. Going into this trenches mode, I've called it, I didn't know what I was looking for. And through the past couple of days, I'm just realizing that, you know, as I get deeper and deeper in this entrepreneurship game, and as things get easier but also harder, it's like I'm having to rewire the way I perceive work and rewire the way I've gotten here in the first place. You know, the way I got here in the first place was complete and utter survival mode, just complete struggle, having to do that, having to do that, having to do this, need to do this. Now everything is from a want. I want to work on my business, so I do. I want to get that cup of coffee, so I do. I want to wake up early, so I do. I want to go to bed early, so I do. And that is truly what we work for, and it's very important to remember that enough in itself is a blessing. And you know, partially why I film these speeches is because it's also allows me to speak to myself. Because at the end of the day, it's just me and a camera right now. You're on the other side watching this, and I don't know how many people are end up going to watch this one day, but it's just me and me. You know, it's just so much is changing the way I work. It's like all of a sudden now I have to operate from a place that, you know, realizing like everything is work. Me getting that cup of coffee, it's the work. The highest leverage work I need to do is hidden in that walk that I need to take. Hidden in that cup of coffee I want. Because the thoughts that I get to have are more leverage to me, and the time I get thinking about what I want to strategically do within my pursuits is truly the highest leverage thing for an individual like me. Because to sit there and do all these inputs, it doesn't provide the same level of value as the strategic compounding nature of doing those tasks where I get to spend time with myself and spend time within my brain, because that is your most valuable asset at the end of the day. It's you. Understanding who you are more and what you want and what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And that's the whole point of this thing that I'm doing, this, you know, these trenches days. It's just I'm figuring out who I am, really. Like, you know, peeling back the layers, figuring out what works for me, what doesn't work for me, what makes sense, what doesn't. And it's like I'm on week, it's the first week and I'm feeling burnt out already, you know? But I'm realizing that that sense of burnout is only coming from a lack of feeling my purpose and feeling in line with my purpose. Because when you're truly, truly operating in a place where you're completely and utterly focused on your reason, your purpose, whatever it is in life that you're currently living for, everything seems easy. Everything seems like a walk in the park. And as soon as you stop and you don't see that reason and you don't have the same clarity to operate on a day-to-day basis towards that purpose, it becomes fuzzy like today has. And that's when this quote-unquote burnout ideology has spawned in that I don't personally subscribe to. I don't think you can get burnt out. It's just a matter of you're not working on the thing that you actually care about. Because if you truly cared about that thing and it's truly something you needed and something you wanted, you would have it. It's the laws of the universe. Never have I once say I wanted this thing and haven't gotten it. And it's not like, oh, I want this car, I want that. No, I need to go on this trip. I need to, you know, before I went to London to give my speech, I had $23 in my bank account after booking the flights. Somehow when I left for the trip, we had made $50,000 that month. Because when you show the universe you truly need something and you put the work in for it, the universe rewards you. It's a law of exchange. And I promise you that your hard work has not gone unseen. Even though these days feel lonely, in which you don't know what you're pursuing, you feel a bit burnt out, those are the days that matter. When you constantly show up for your purpose, for your mission, even when you feel like you don't know what you're doing, those are the ones that add up. You know, I didn't want to sit here and film this speech. For some reason, I had such a friction to sitting here in front of the camera, and even now I don't feel as much clarity when speaking, but I'll be grateful I did. And one more topic, I know I've jumped on a lot of topics in today's speech, but another topic I want to jump on is like, I've gotten so conflated with the numbers and the numbers of the game, where when you're progressing so quickly, you get so obsessed with the money, the views, the followers. Man, I get more and more and more and more. And it's really important to stay grounded in your purpose and stay grounded in your why. Because when you stay grounded in your purpose, when you stay grounded in your why, everything comes naturally. The money will come. The followers will come. The wants, the needs, they will come. And, you know, this is not only a mantra to you, but this is a mantra to myself, because in this moment I feel like I need more, I need this, I need that. But in the reality of what I'm in is just realigning, finding that clarity and that I already have that is just fuzzy in my brain because of maybe, you know, I'm tired. You know, and it's very easy to allow a day for this where you're truly tired to compound and to affect your week and to affect your month and to affect your year. And it's very important to remember that you are human at the end of the day, and there are limitations to your body to a certain extent. I'm not going to sit here and say there are tremendous limitations, but you do get tired. Find what rebalances you and brings you back into this positive energy and this good filling energy. And, you know, talking to the camera does for me. Like, this feels just, again, it's just like so many affirmations towards myself and towards what I'm doing and the clarity that I'm giving myself. And I'm grateful that I have someone to give it out to. And to know that, you know, someone on the other side of this camera, every time I pick it up, every time I click record, somehow gets inspired, somehow gets motivated from the things I say and the things that I try to provide value in by showing, you know, the rawest bits of documentation that I possibly can, from me shoveling driveways to me cold calling to me moving into this house to my partner leaving me to the conversations I have with my father. I document completely and utterly naturally and completely and utterly authentically. What you see is who I am. I'm not ashamed of it, and I'm grateful that the version that you see of me and my authenticity is able to inspire and motivate. So truly, thank you. You know, I come from a single mother of 5, and I decided to drop out of school in 10th grade, and that's a part of who I am. You know, I didn't grow up with a male role model per se in my life, because my father wasn't around when I was younger. My older brother wasn't very much around, and I had to figure it out myself. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I really started documenting as well, is being a figure for those kids like me who didn't have a role model, and a male role model at that. I had an amazing mother, but traversing this world that is filled with so many distractions and so many gateways to pleasure and so many ways to stunt you in your growth, especially as a young man, it's very difficult to traverse through it without guidance. And through making the decisions that I have, like dropping out of school in 10th grade, like providing for myself, like building these businesses, like saying I'm going to do all the things I'm going to do, I hope that I can provide some guidance to the younger version of myself. To the younger version of myself that watches these videos, whatever decision you're in, whatever stance you're in, I'm not telling you to drop out of school. I'm not telling you you have to be this, you have to do that. But do understand, as a man in today's world, there are certain roles and obligations that we have to not only our family, but to society, because we are being attacked on a very, very large level across everything, with the distractions, with media, with the conflicts around the world. And you have to understand that your part in this mission that I'm on is to save yourself. And in picking up this camera, my hopes are that that younger version of myself looks at this and becomes inspired to work, to put in the hard work, to show up for himself and become the best version of himself that he truly, truly can be. And in this world full of distractions, pleasures, lives true to himself. Because if you don't live true to yourself, what else do you have in this world? Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I know my brain jumps between subjects all the time. I talked about like 6 different things, but I appreciate your attention, and thank you very much for watching. My name's Frost Thurwell, and make sure you check out the written letter in the link in the description.